Greetings everyone, please give me a moment, make sure everything's set on up. Looks like everything's booting on up. Maybe we want to turn live chat windows. Looks like everything's online, and I think everything is good to go. Microphone's online? Yes it is. So, let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on top side as the Green Earth Storm. We got Izanagi 007. Small on south side as the Amber Blossom Max. We got Hudge. Wait, did I forget to turn my macros? Yeah, macros. There we go. This map is a high funds map, and I always lose pacing a high funds map because it gets fast very quickly. So let's get started. When it comes to high funds, let's see, Sturm course has perfect movement. Oh, early T-copters. Yeah, this is high funds in fact. You got T-copters on turn 1. Double T-copter. This map is interesting. You start off a airport. There's a comm tower in the corners and comm towers in the other corners. So we've got a comm towers in 4 corners of the earth. Take that, globe cards. And we do have a battlecopter last turn by Sturm as well. I was trying to say, he has perfect movement, so his recons, like those double recons, are very agile and mobile. He gets, of course, less firepower though, but more defense. Minus 20, plus 20. Max, of course, gets plus 20% firepower for direct units. But, of course, loses range and firepower on indirect units. Sturm could make good use of rockets. Max is at high for high mobility then. And battlecopters. His battlecopters still always be useful, so we may see a nice swarm of tanks and battlecopters from Max. Double click on the infantry. This tank get a first strike on the recon, but will result in the battlecopter get first strike on the tank. Tank, and anti-air. Infantry, battlecopter, and tank. Tank can get a good battlecopter can get a good shot on the tank. However, we range the anti-air. However, even though anti-air battlecopter is more expensive than anti-airs, you also leave a vulnerable. No, won't leave it vulnerable to this tank for a follow-up strike. He drops a capture there, and we'll make it vulnerable to this tank. So never mind. More battlecopters here. Do have anti-air up here. So the Spy-5 tank just gotta make sure it doesn't get hit by the anti-air get hit by the 5 health tank. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. 5 health tank does fall back the city there. Takes out. Oh, does not take out the anti-air. I would assume we did, but did not. Comm tower being occupied by the T-copter. Max has no comm towers at the moment, so. I suppose now it's 0-20 versus 20-0, so evened out, I guess. Anti-air does fall back to the city, which may not be. I suppose he wants to get that anti-air a little bit up and going, but there's only a wounded, not a full health battlecopter here, so maybe not super needed to keep that alive. You have a Neo tank now pull on the field. Power is now available for Max. Does get some good strikes there. More hits on this infantry unit there. 10 capture progress on that infantry there. Decides to wait turn the recon because it'll likely get killed off by any counterattack. Battlecopter takes out recon. He is out of range that battle the anti-air in the battlecopter. Joins capture there, 8 capture progress remaining. Tank does take a strike of that recon, but now in range of a tank and battle copter, so it may not have been a good idea to push forward both these tanks here. See double first strike here. Got Neo Tank, Tank, and Infantry, so both players now have a Neo Tank, or Max has 2, I should say. Three capture progress remaining in the comm tower, so next turn it will be captured. Cannot be interrupted any further this turn. Neo Tank recon. It commits a base skip, and also, is this the same? Okay, that's not a fresh T-copter. Neo Tank takes out an infantry with the help of a regular tank. Now got this comp on the bottom right being captured. Right now income's 34 versus 36,000 income. Battlecopter strikes Battlecopter. We do now have the Max Blast available. Got a bomber. Anti-air, infantry. I wonder, give me a moment. Let's see. Stealths are and black bombs both disabled. I was thinking, maybe we can counter Alpha stealth, but nope, that's not the case. This infantry unit twice, starting to flip both of those properties down south, and I don't think he can interrupt either of those captures with the battlecopter in the way. So a great swing down south for Max, so we may have 3 comm towers soon. Goes for a fighter, eyeing for some air supremacy. Tank, infantry. And it's of 188 versus 179, so both pretty even, both the same income as well. Battlecopter takes out Battlecopter. Neotech does not take a shot against the Battlecopter, which probably would be cost effective. Neotech rocket and infantry. We may see a Max Blast or Max Forces turn. All depends if the Neotechs are range something valuable, I guess. Battlecopter hits Battlecopter. Guess we will not see a power nor superpower. And be careful with Sturm's Meteor Strike or Meteorite Strike. Battlecopter, Neotank, double infantry. Neotank, anti-air, and infantry. Bit of idle turn. Oh, do have the Max Blast now being casted. Oh, Battlecopter managed to range the Neotank, but of course the extra defense stars and the extra defense take a bit of a pummeling. Neotank will go down, but will be in range of a Neotank. It's infantry. It's anti-air. Meteor Strike now available. Another bomber on the field, this time for Max. Infantry, and tank. If you give me a moment, with the new microphone I have set up, I think I need to tone down the volume a little bit. Sorry, with the new microphone and headset, I think a lot of audio adjustment levels sort of got changed, so I just had to do some minor changes there. Meteor Strike landed here, hits the fighter and bomber, which will ruin the reinforcements. The bomber has pretty much free reign. Have to be careful at anti-airs. Bomber, of course, is going to be slowed down. But of course, it means that Max is not going to lose any momentum in the front line. He'll just lose some reinforcements. Bomber takes out regular tank there. Interrupts capture. Anti-air hits Battlecopter. Anti-air hits Battlecopter. Neotank hits Neotank. Almost like there's a normal fight engagement there. Neotank gets surrounded. And wait, plus 2 move range. Don't think you'll be set free. And the rocket is in range. Neotank stacks itself on the Neotank. Wait. Did that 5 health Neotank only did 1 damage? I suppose without the power, it really gets reduced firepower. And taking shots in Neotank, chipping down quite a bit. We got a max force, which allows a +1 range hit the bomber. That's quite important there. That bomber had free range as long as that fighter had 2 health, but that's no longer the case. Takes out the regular tank there, but that Neotank will be shelled soon. But reduced firepower is going to make it hurt a lot less. One prop in the center still despicably neutral. Battlecopter anti-air double tank. Shells the Neotank, hits the Neotank. Neotank hits the Neotank. And will continue trapping the Neotank. Hits the infantry unit there, finished off. And unable to finish off a unit like that, just probably really annoying. Does hit the battlecopter there, which was blocking the road. Hits the 7 health tank, not finished with the 1 health tank. Hits the 3 health, now down. Battlecopter, anti-air, tank, and tank. Neotank hits the T-copter, does not take it out. Hits the T-copter, does take it out. Both bomber can be easily dissuaded by the anti-air. Neotank, battlecopter, infantry, and infantry. Answer of 104 versus 116, but has an 8-unit limit or advantage. Hits the infantry unit, hits the infantry unit, hits the anti-air, hits the anti-air. Try and flip a property. Now it's 40,000 versus 34,000 income. Try and flip this property as well. Tank, Neotank, and infantry. Does take out the anti-air. And something died up there, I think. Not sure what it was. Fighter does hit the battlecopter. Anti-air hits battlecopter. Battlecopters do take out the Neotank. We do have another max force available. We could see a Meteor Strike 2 if so chooses. Infantry, Neotank, battlecopter, and priority infantry. Hits anti-air, hits 2 health infantry, takes up the 3 health fighter, hits the infantry, hits the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter, hits the regular tank, hits the regular tank, does not take out the regular tank. And it looks like these units are just falling on back. There's a good number of Neotanks there, 866. Bomber, artillery, artillery, and infantry. Takes out that 1 health battlecopter, no problem. Blackbolt can spend time repairing up that tank up to 4 health. Infantry, Neotank, and infantry. Hits the infantry unit, hits the infantry unit. Neotank, anti-air, and infantry. Max almost has another superpower available, which will likely trigger a meteor strike. Hits the infantry unit twice, so that probably remain despicably neutral. Another fighter on the field. Will this meteor, a meteor strikes the fighter as well? Likely not. It will probably strike this infantry unit there, taking out 2 or hitting 2 Neotanks. Actually, no. Now thinking about it, I can't hit 2 Neotanks there or there. So the 2 Neotanks are separated from here, but it will likely strike here then. Just a theory, though. Neotank, battlecopter. Recon and infantry. Anti-air, battlecopter, and tank. Hits the battlecopter down south, shells it. Takes out that tank there. Another battlecopter, mega tank, and double infantry. Got these units trying to creep their way forward. Max blast, possibly. Anti-air strikes battlecopter. Hits the infantry unit there. It looks like he's not eyeing for superpower, so he's probably going to reposition units this turn. One thing that Sturm could do is charge forward, get some damage, and pop a meteor strike. Because right now the meteor strike will likely, yeah, it will probably hit these 3 neo tanks. But then again, the meteor has to target a unit directly, right? So it'll probably strike this medium or neo tank here. Hits the anti-air, shells the anti-air. Looks like he's not going to be trying to either pop the meteor strike. Neo tank, double infantry, and a battlecopter. Another turn of repositioning. I am curious about the unit limit. One thing I did not pay attention to. Unit limit 65. We got 49 and 46. Another mega tank for Sturm. Overall, it's just repositioning units, keeping the infantry out of range of the infantry. One thing that Max could do is sack a bunch of regular tanks into the mega tank, drain its ammo, then neo tanks take some strikes at it. But that would be sacrificing a lot of momentum, because the regular tanks are still pretty useful. Another bomber, anti-air, double infantry. Another fighter, this time for Sturm. Got a APC on the field. Neo tanks can be sheltered by some artillery up north, which may give him enough for Meteor Strike. He needs another... Yeah, that may give him enough for Meteor Strike. I think getting close to his artillery was a bad call. This might be the turn where we see Sturm's superpower. Ooh, struck down there. That might have been HP rather than value. Because I'm pretty sure value would have struck both of these neo tanks and the 2 battlecopters. Probably would have struck here if it was value. Though it did hit a fighter and bomber. That may have been HP rather than value. Unless, let's see... Oh, it is now target enemy at the greatest communication of value. That's always value in Advanced Fortified Web. My bad. It's not the cartridge version of Sturm. But his southern flank is basically crushed. Sturm just hardens the northern flank, then the southern flank can push forward. And Sturm of 396,000 value versus 500,000. There's a bomber, fighter, and 3 tanks and a boat there. I would assume 2 neo tanks and a couple battlecopters may have exceeded that. It's hard to judge the value, honestly, sometimes. Fighter, infantry, and anti-air. We do have now max blast available. Hits the infantry unit there. Hits the infantry unit. I'm not sure why the infantry was a priority target. Try and push his way forward. Does manage to push his way forward. The extra defense caused him, even still forced him to double tap some units. Does take out the artillery. Fighter hits bomber for a good chunk of damage. Battlecopter does and hits battlecopter, but does not take it out. And that wasn't a really good superpower, honestly. He also pulled back from this flank, but looks like he's going to try to just smash through this flank here. But there are 2 Neo-Tanks and 2 Battlecopters in this region. The Neo-Tanks will get the first strike in both those Neo-Tanks, perhaps. He may even be able to pop a Meteorite strike before the end of the turn. Hits a regular tank there. Bomber hits the Neo-Tank. Infantry unit just gets out of the way. Does not take out the Neo-Tank. Does take out the 2-off tank there. Takes out the fighter. May this regular tank hit that Neo-Tank, or may the Battlecopters. Megatank can still advance. APC in range, somewhat close to the Megatank to get it resupplied though. Megatank just falls back. Neo-Tank. Bomber, infantry. Hits the Neo-Tank. Storms close to another meteor strike. Accumulation value must hit this bomber, which also hits 2 Neo-Tanks. It has to hit there. Oh, is the game over? Or... can't go any forward. Yeah, it looks like Max has outright resigned there before the next meteor strike. I think he realized that he was starting to lose the value of the meteor strike going. It was likely to strike there. There's a number of good targets can probably strike, but I'm pretty sure it would strike right here. You just have to make sure the Mega Tank's not in range, so either way, this Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Let me just delete this one. There it is. Let's do this one next. Give me a moment to adjust the make this pretty and not disjointed. It is a big map. I think that's pretty good. Maybe I actually sort of just the top part of it. There we go. I think that's the best I can do. So let's get started. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Small on top right side is a Teal Cosmos Kindle. We got Rebe Maw. Small on top bottom left side is the Amber Blossom Drake. We got Ulysses, but not S. Grant because he's clearly British because he summons rain. Either way, let's get started. This is a 3-base map, 1 airport. Technically a handful of seaports, which maybe Drake can deploy battleships in the center. But this battleship's not too particularly fancy, honestly. His battleships just simply get plus 10% defense. It's nothing too crazy. While they do have good defense, and defense does stack quite a bit on top of seaport. Still, just plus 10% is not fantastic, in my opinion. Got a T-Copter now by Kindle. More infantry, not a big surprise. This infantry unit can be boosted forward. Does not. Now can boost forward 2 infantries. Got a mech here ready to be loaded up in the T-Copter. Recon double infantry. Tank, infantry, and infantry, so first tank on the field. Drake does have 12,000 funds, so we can also go for a tank this turn. Goes for artillery double infantry. Was not expecting artillery. Maybe we're going to try to shell this pipe scene. large number of captures I can hear. Another mech recon and infantry. Nice little mech plate. That early T-copter really does help out the mechs. Tank recon and infantry. Kindle has 12,000 funds this turn. She could go for battlecopter to triple infantry, and that's what she does. She will capture, or he will capture this property here. Infantry in range. Start shelling that pipe scene. Anti-air double infantry. Right now, Kindle has 2 comm towers. This one's not captured up just yet, but soon Drake will have 2 comm towers as well. Infantry, battlecopter, and mech. Mech ready to be loaded up in T-copter. Let's take out the infantry unit there. Recon in range of a mech. Very nice. Now, next question is, do you send the tank in first to hit the recon, or do you send the mech in first? Does send the tank in first, finish off the recon, gets a boost strike on that infantry, gains severe amount of damage. Another mech on the mountainside. And Kindle has not really entered the south just yet. Has a handful of infantry units, but that's about it. Goes for another mech, a battlecopter, and double infantry. She's been really eyeing her mechs and battlecopters like she was playing Sensei. Recon, tank, and tank. Fully stops the capture. Fully stops that capture as well. Right now, Kindle does have 20,000 income versus 22,000. Does an infantry unit there. If the tank gets struck by another tank, a mech is nearby ready for retaliation. Tank does hit the tank. Mech is in range as I mentioned. Another tank down there. And we got a good number of tanks here right now for Drake. So Kindle may... Well, she does have a good number of battlecopters heading over here. Hits the infantry unit twice. It does hit the tank there. Anti-air's in range, but not in vision range. Tank hits the wounded tank. Mech hits the other slightly wounded tank, making a very wounded tank. Recon does interrupt and stop the capture. Hits that infantry unit as well. ATR finish off the battlecopter. Hits the mech. Hits the infantry unit there. Got a couple more mechs up here. This one's, however, busy capturing. With a bit of spotting, this mech could get a good strike on this 5 health tank. Anti-air infantry, battlecopter, and tank. Possible urban blight. Hits the recon. 1 health tank does get trapped, which also partially blocks this mech from taking a shot. Pops urban blight, which only looks like a bunch of just global damage. Is not too great, honestly. I would say you should either get some boost strikes to go along with it. A lot of mechs and battlecopters heading to the west, and that pipe scene goes down. I would think there's a pretty big booster strike there from the artillery. Neo tank double infantry. Drake has no proper counter to that Neo tank. His battlecopters are not very good. In total now with the 2 comm towers, minus 10% firepower. Battlecopter, tank, and double infantry. Oh, that tank lost a coin flip even with a slight booster strike there. Plus 40% firepower, reduced down to 1 health, so plus 4% firepower, which is not very good. Battlecocpter gets some good strikes there. Do have now a tsunami now available, or typhoon. He's about to make the weather very English. Kindle ends her turn being 140,000 value versus 117. Now she's down to 112. Of course, she's also got some poor vision for the next couple turns as well, thanks to the rain. Mech gets shot up on top of the mountainside. However, there's going to be a massive boost strike onto that 7 health tank. She has a power, it will likely easily one-shot that 7 health tank. Tank, and recon. Does hit the tank there. Does not get trapped in the forest. Does not take out that tank there. Artillery avoids all the battlecopters. Get some good strikes up here. Of course, this tank did take a shot against this tank here. Tank, and infantry pops an Urban Blight, which could have got a nice boost strike there, easily taking out that tank. But that's simply not what has happened. Hits out battlecopter, hits shells and infantry. Neo tank in range of the anti-air. That would probably be a good way to clear that out, but currently I don't think it's in vision range. No, wait, battlecopter's can spot 3 vision in by web. In Days of Ruin, I think they got reduced down to 2. Tank, infantry, and recon. Did I say Sammy? I thought I said Kindle. Does take out the tank there. Anti-air gets struck with a boosted strike. Neo tank is right now in the forest. Neo tank, infantry, and infantry. Does show that tank twice. Anti-air does battlecopter takes up the black can't speak. Battlecopter goes down. Picks up that capturing squad. Neo tank get a nice easy strike against this regular tank here. And this battlecopter will be needed to take on this battlecopter because there's nothing else at the moment. Takes out that tank there. Takes out the tank there. Booster strike on that tank. Does take it out. Infantry, battlecopter, recon, and anti-air. Hit some of these units there. Does hit the, or wounds the battlecopter. Does hit the mech up north. Hits that infantry unit there. Artillery ready to shell this anti-air. Anti-air, battlecopter, and infantry. Tank hits a recon. Neo tank hits a regular tank. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Does not get a booster strike from this nearby city. Does take it out. Pops a Urban Blight. Another Typhoon's available. And with that booster strike there, able to get a one shot on that tank, no problem. Infantry, battlecopter, and tank. There's Tsunami. Putting Kindle down 115 value versus 102 at the moment. So right now they're pretty even between the two players. I think with this battlecopter low on fuel and ammo, maybe the 3 and 1 health battlecopters should merge into each other. Right now, Kindle is at 25,000 income versus 22,000. Has 116,000 value versus 114. So Kindle's ever so slightly behind, but That's not a big issue at the moment. Takes out the artillery, takes out the unit there. Neo tank and battlecopter strikes that unit there. This battlecopter's down to 30 fuel. This one's down to 7. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. And full captures there, putting them ahead by 1,000 income. One property left is still despicably neutral. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Resupplies the Neo tank, pops a power, softening up a number of things. This Neo tank is in range of this Neo tank, but not next to an adjacent city. Interior hits the recon, does not take it out. Infantry will finish off. Neo tank hits Neo tank. Does finish off this black boat. 5 fuel, just merge the 2 battlecopters together. They need the fuel as well as the ammo. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. And this battlecopter does push forward. 2 fuel remaining. Battlecopters burn 2 fuel per turn, right? So it's going to get shot down now. Aether is so barely alive. New tank, double infantry. Shells the anti-air. Takes out the anti-air. Takes out that regular tank there. Battlecopter, infantry, recon, and tank. Does take out that, or does not take it out just yet. The regular tank finished off. Artillery's in range, low on fuel. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, and tank. And it's 127,000 for 115, so Kindle's starting to fall slightly behind. Boost strike on the recon, takes it out. Another tsunami's not available. Urban Blight has been popped. Misses both the Neo tanks. Infantry, tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Tsunami's now available, and Kindle's down 100,000. Takes out some outlying infantry unit there, but this Neo tank could receive a boost strike from this nearby city. However, there's nothing in range to deal with it. And it's 120,000 for 106. Kindle's about getting a half turn behind. It looks like Black Belt's down to 2 fuel, so it's about ready to be sunk to the bottom of the HQ. Artillery, battlecopter, double infantry. And that Neo tank's next to a city as well, so one of these battlecopters get a booster strike onto it. Booster strike gets a good chunk of damage. It hits the battlecopter. Nice little booster strike there. Even use some infantry bullets to take on the Neo tank. Does get trapped there. Tank, infantry, and battlecopter. Recon tank anti-air, and that one unit does follow the sky. Which I think... Oh, we do have now another Urban Blight popped. Boost strike there, easy one shot on that tank. Hits that tank as well. Boost strike there on that Neo tank. Battlecopter tank double infantry. Does strike the black boat for a bit of damage there. Black boat's down to 11 fuel. Instead of 115,000 versus 135, so it looks like Kindle's about a full turn ahead. Does take out a Neo tank there. Now would be a good idea to spawn a pipe runner, right? Battlecopter tank and double infantry. Tank does hit tank. Tank finish off tank. Superpower, getting a nice bit of call. Some of those units there, artillery gets struck so down on 3 health. And this black boat's getting ever so close to 1% health. Tank, and infantry. Does get a booster strike there. Shells that tank. Could be picked off by an infantry unit. Does not. Battlecopter tank and double infantry. Drake's turn. Anti-air hits the battlecopter. Tank hits tank. Does finish off the tank and trying to flip it with minimal health. Battlecopter hits battlecopter and does eventually sink the black boat. Recon double tank. Does get some good hits there, takes an anti-air and a tank. Battlecopter tank and double infantry. Tank hits tank, tank hits tank. Does take the battlecopter. Right now, Kindle only has a tank in this region with more tanks in reserve. And it's turn of 132,000 versus 102, so Drake's pulling quite far ahead. Does get trapped there. Does pop up power, strikes that recon for a bit of damage, and the battlecopter will get a boost strike there, taking out that tank. Battlecopter infantry double tank. Does hit those tanks there, finish them both off. Drake has another tsunami available, getting somewhat closer to another typhoon. Kindle ends their turn of 138 of 35,000. Drake's starts turn of 97 with day-to-day funds. He is about half turn behind. Neo tank does hit the regular tank there, knocking it out. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. And looks like Drake does go ahead and resign. This is Android saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Before I get started on the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. apologies, I am back. Let's see now. Could do this one a little bit shorter. That one's a possibility. Sorry, I'm sort of going through my list a little bit. Found a handful of replays. Okay, let's do this one. Sturm versus Von Bolt. And we'll probably do that Cole and... what's it called? Cole and Jake. That should be good enough. Let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the bottom left side as the Blue Moon Von Bolt, where we have Searing Blight. So on top right side as the, was it Teal Cosmos? Teal Galaxy Hawk, we got Exarch. So let's get started. This is a 3-base map. This is standard funds. One airport in the corners, no seaports. We've got a pair of comm towers in the corner. Oh, no, there's a pair of seaports. Next to some shores, so you can pull out some black boats and move it one tile back and forth. Lots of captures there. First tank on the field by Von Bolt. Tank by Hawk. More infantry, keeping 3,000 monies in the bank. Hawk has 9,000. Yep, goes for another tank and probably double infantry. Yes, he does. Heading down south, so this comm tower will not be captured anytime soon. Hits this infantry unit here. I think we'll probably have to jump to the HQ. Yep, can range that. This comm tower has not been touched just yet, and infantry are somewhat close by. It's that infantry unit there now. Goes the HQ. Infantry, and tank. This tank may want to head up here to start interrupting the comm tower as well. This has 5 catch progress remaining, but if he takes it out, he will receive a first strike from this tank. That's not worth it. Comm tower now being captured, but he can interrupt it, but that will not be great. Maybe we first strike from the other tank. Battlecopter, more infantry. Interrupts or takes out that unit there after getting them captured. Puts the tank on top of the city there. So this comm tower will be captured. This comm tower has 6 catch progress remaining. He could interrupt some capture, delay it even further, which I think would be a good idea. Nope, he decides to capture that city entirely. Battlecopter, infantry, and tank. And infantry. If you would interrupt it a little bit further, then the tank could also get a first strike on this tank. And if the other battlecopter near reinforcing, and no counter anti on the field, would perhaps able to prevent the comm tower from being captured. Then we got artillery and tank up here, another tank reserve. Only 2 tanks up here. Incident of 69,000 versus 55. Battlecopter hits battlecopter, tank hits tank. Infantry finish off said tank. Hits that infantry there, providing the flip for now. Joins. Interrupts that capture by sacrificing that unit. Tanks pushing forward, trying to flip the comm tower. Infantry units nearby can easily interrupt the capture. Trying to lure units into the range of the artillery though, and he's somewhat successful at that aspect. Tank does hit tank. Enter the range of the artillery, interrupts the capture. This tank's pushing over here. Battlecopter rolling over its way to the left. Tank, battlecopter, tank, and commits a base skip. Join capture here, 4 capture progress remaining. Shells an infantry unit there. Interrupts that capture. Anti-air right here, which this tank should be able to get a good shot on the anti-air, allowing the battlecopter more free reign. That's probably going to sack the tank, hit the anti-air, so the battlecopter can just continue firing away. Does not do that. Hits the tank twice, hits that tank. Oh, he does find a spot where the anti-air simply can't range the battlecopter, so that's pretty good. Oh, Black Wave. We got a Hawk's power goes from 77 versus 76 to 81 to 67. I was not expecting Black Wave. He does keep 1,000 funds left over. He does interrupt this capture again, down to 4 capture progress. Next turn will be at 3. Shells infantry unit there, hits the battlecopter. It join captures. Hits that tank twice. Joins with 1 health tank on in. I think it was maybe at 1% as well, so it probably wouldn't be half bad idea to join it. Tank does hit tank. Tank does hit tank. Finish off the infantry unit up north. As the comm tower up here will be being flipped. This one's going to be being captured up as well, and likely will be flipped as well. Takes the battlecopter. Does capture the comm tower first, very important. Oh, Ex Machina landed right here. Locks on the northern flank. Tank hits tank, one-shots it, or finish it off, 1 to 3. Now, Ex Machina lock down this flank, also does base lock him, which the other 2 bases are pretty far away. It's not like he can send reinforcements over here quickly. And if the artillery pushes forward next and locks on the base, can't just simply just go for a medium tank try to break out. So this base being locked down is actually quite critical. Does capture first, including the comm tower. It's the sea, or trying to flip the seaport. Does not have enough for a battleship. It's like maybe something stupid and actually go for a battleship, but that's not feasible right now. Not enough monies. It's that base there. I don't think shelling that infantry unit there was a good idea. Shelling the tank makes somewhat sense, but shelling the infantry unit there, not worth it. I also think he should have pushed forward the artillery and start locking down that base. He blocks off the anti-air. So that Ex Machina was incredibly good, to say the least. 92,000 on the field for Von Bolt. Hawk has 65,000, so he's pretty far behind, more than a turn. He has a power available. Try and flip some properties now. He does have 2,000 more income as a consolation prize. Tank, battlecopter, and infantry. Shells the tank. Takes out the tank, trying to flip that city. Seaport has another 18 turns left to capture. I don't believe in you. Tank does hit tank. Battlecopter hits the battlecopter, so he sacks the battlecopter, hits the battlecopter. Then start capturing up that 1 health infantry. Might as well. Oh, he did try to get enough power charge for Black Storm. Calls his Von Bolt got called on from 89 to 66, got him up to 93, so he has an advantage, even with Von Bolt's day income. Though some things are quickly going down, like that battlecopter. He has a full health anti-air here to hit this 8 health. Oh, lost a 2 health battlecopter. Neo tank down south. Hawk's turn. There's an 8 health battlecopter to be going down. Going for an HQ capture? I just realized the HQ is possibly being captured. This tank can range the infantry unit there. I don't think it was feasible, but it will force a response, forcing this tank to push forward without any real support, at least from this direction. Takes up 9 health infantry. It does provoke a response. And force unopportune engagements or inadequate engagements. But Neo tank hits the regular tank there. Tank hits infantry. Does not finish off said infantry unit there. He can use Black Wave and Black Storm to get a slight bit of healing benefit. He's really trying to push the capture. But speaking of captures, because good number of captures there. Hits the... He's going to sack the base. Did not interrupt the capture. Went for the value engagement. Tank, and battlecopter. He's flipped the base up north. And if that Neo tank that's the region is able to really push back, Hawk has nothing over to stop the Neo tank. Not even a soft counter like a battlecopter. Trying to flip the HQ himself, which may be possible. Right now, Hawk does have 23,000 and covers 19. Interrupts the capture, And this base will start producing next turn. A-tier is probably a good call since there's multiple battlecopters right there. Or Pipe Runner. Don't go for Pipe Runner. I honestly don't know how much defense a Pipe Runner has, but probably not great. Drone captures on the HQ. 4 capture progress remaining. Medium tank up north. Takes out the regular tank there. Hits the capturing infantry. Stops the capture. Hits the capturing infantry there. Takes out the tank. This has 5 capture progress remaining, so next turn could be infantry in range. Bomber to engage the medium tank. We do have another Ex Machina available. It will strike this formation. I don't believe there's enough value here. Yeah, that's like 44. This is like 21, 28, plus another... Yeah, the anti-air easily makes it... He actually got pretty close, honestly. But Bomber and Neo tanks locked down. Battlecopter hits battlecopter. Does not finish off the battlecopter. He could pop a Black Wave next turn, maybe even Black Storm. Ends turn of 125,000. Here's the battlecopter. Let's lose the coin flip there. Hits the tank, hits the tank. The extra +10/+10 for activating power or superpower being very useful right there. Intro does not lose another coin flip there, or does not interrupt the capture. Hits the anti-air. Next turn, Black Storm. Another medium tank. You could damage some units and then pop Black Storm, but maybe at most is Battlecopter doing that. Pops the superpower, 92 versus 99. Battlecopter takes out Battlecopter. Neo tank hits Neo tank, but 4 defense stars is still 4 defense stars. Just like 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Neo tank does not advance any farther forward. And then Neo tank bomber. Battlecopter, tank, and infantry. Medium tank hits Neo tank. Medium tank hits Neo tank. Neo tank hits Neo tank. Anti-air. Insert of 84. So Vulnerable is behind, but has 25 units, opposed to 15. Bomber strikes the medium tank, hits the anti-air, hits the medium tank, hits the medium tank, hits the regular tank, hits the regular tank, hits the regular tank. This anti-air will be able to range the bomber in its current spot. Probably should have struck it and softened it up. Battlecopter double tank. Tank hits tank, hits the regular tank, hits the bomber, softening up. Trying to flip the HQ again, hits the bomber, knocking it out. Medium tank. Infantry, infantry, and infantry. Another Ex Machina is almost available. I think at this point in time, he may just need to pop the black wave. Interrupts the capture, hits the anti-air. Ex Machina is now available. Hits the Neo tank. Ex Machina will likely strike this tank directly. Because what else would it hit? Looks like those 2 units there. Yep, locks down the entire front, making this base get another free deployment. Going for the HQ capture, surrounded by his own units that are force weighted. Oh. Yeah, he can't range it. Because his own units are in the way. Oh, power. That would interrupt the capture. Oh, something exploded. Join capture, so it's down to 1 capture progress, so he has to fully wipe out the squad or lose. I have a feeling he's going to lose the game. Does hit those units down south. The chance of getting a power is unlikely. Gets a shot there, takes another shot there, hits the regular tank, and unable to kill the infantry unit there. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. That appears to be good to go. Looks like there's a dump truck outside. Sorry, I was making some sound. My apologies. So, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on top right side as the orange star coal. We got Poland with a capital 1. Spawn on bottom left side as the I still can't remember this one. Amber Blossom Drake. We got Scandalous. For some reason I think of the old cartoon Recess. Damn, I'm calling that old. I am old. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map has quite a bit going. This is a 3-base map. Airport in the corners, there's seaports here and there. Comm towers in the center. Pair of labs with cities in the corner just to provide funding because there's a lab around the HQ, so once it makes that spot a little bit more vulnerable. 3 defense stores rather than 4 defense stores effectively. There's also some black boats on the plains, which will allow Drake to get bonus firepower with the black boats. You can no longer get bonus firepower. Oh wait, no, that's coals. Recon moving up north. It's also a seaport here, so you can use a battleship to protect your lab. Tank double infantry. He does move his black boat off the plane, so no longer gets firepower bonuses. There is also some pipe seams here, so you can actually deploy a pipe runner if you want to mix artillery. Does take out the unit captured the counter, so Jake has his +1 counter. Cole does not get a good shot on the recon. What if it took a shot from the comm tower and put it on 1 health? Wouldn't taking a shot from the road guarantee the kill, or is it still subject to RNG? Just give me a moment. I need to check that out. If that was a... Let's see, this is 85 to 94. It's a low chance, but a chance. Yeah, maybe Cole, if there was ever do some rebalancing, maybe Cole just needs plus 15% firepower from roads. Does take out the recon, capture the comm tower. Tank, infantry. Well, this is a 3-base map. Remember, it's 26 capture victory, which means both players will have very low income. The chance for medium tanks even unlikely, let alone neo tanks. Got some artillery. Does shell that tank there, but in range of this tank to say the least. But this tank is trapped unless this pipe seam gets destroyed next turn, which is unlikely. Multiple infantry mechs in the center with multiple infantry here. Jake, of course, gets +1 range, was indirect with his power and superpower. Does take out that tank there. Cole can take out this tank, but we'll receive another first strike. Get some good attacks there with the infantry. This mech can get a boosted strike from the road. Maybe with an increased boosted strike force march, increasing the firepower to plus 20%. Does get a shot there on the with the mech. Tanks rotating over here. Artillery could shell this pipe seam to get a good amount of damage going. Does not. Does hit the pipe seam a bit normally. We got 76 for 77. So Cole being player 1, play has a slight advantage. 17,000 versus 14,000 income. And of course, to capture this stuff in the corner, you will need to pull out a black boat or a lander. And of course, black boat costing 7,500 is expensive. This relatively low income game, especially with 3 bases. So it'd be somewhat hard to actually justify even a black boat right now. Does strike the pipe seam. Another tank mech. Another mech. This black boat course does interrupt some movement right here, hence why it was moved right there. Tank does hit tank. We do have, both players now have a power. Which of course Jake get plus 10% firepower from planes versus plus 10% firepower from versus roads. +1 indirect versus +1 move range. So quite a bit of a good counterpart foil between these two. At least the powers. Superpower, both of them get +2 movement on, at least for Jake, it'll be certain vehicles. Tank, and infantry. Tank does hit tank with a roads bonus. Tank hits tanks with a roads bonus, a counterattack with a planes bonus. Hits the mech. And do now trail. Near end of turn trail of woe. Tank hits the artillery. I can see a force march, but I wasn't expecting a full trail of woe, honestly. But starting to flip the comm tower. Maybe it's a play for the comm tower. That's interesting. And does soften up a good number of these tanks up here. So Jake's positioning up here is not great. Only has one somewhat healthy tank. We may see a block rock now deployed in the field, giving him now plus 40% firepower from planes, as opposed to plus 30% firepower for Cole on roads. Big booster strike there. interrupts the capture. Artillery shells the one way over there, and that was a 9 health one, getting good strike. Also on this 8 health tank, could get a booster strike from one of these planes. Besides, you get the booster strike there, finish it off, and actually sort of sacks it there. Booster strike there, takes it out. 2 health tanks here versus number of tanks here, but the problem is artillery in reserve, so these tanks simply can't push forward. Or it's ill-advisable to push forward, to say the least. And this 2 health infantry is being a bit of a roadblock. Two health artillery can shell something up here. It has a good number of targets in front of it. Those tanks did push forward and got themselves killed. That's the mech there, tank mech. Another mech. And this mech can blitz across a mountain out onto the shore. I hate to be the mech who has to sprint across a mountainside. That's gotta be really painful. Uses the tank to take out the infantry rather than this 8 health infantry. Hits the mech, hits the infantry. Tank, and tank. Shells the tank again. Mech is a good strike there. It's this tank as well. So it looks like Jake is starting to break out over here, but still got some tanks here. Insert for 89,000 versus 80,000, still pretty even, but remember the income's not super high. Cole has 19,000 versus 15,000, which is pretty nice. Both sides still have not justified the expenditure for a black vote. Oh, Trail of Woe. Going for the column tower once again. Goes and waits the black boat there, you monster. No booster strike from bridges. That's another thing I think Cole should get a bit of buff. Roads and bridges. Shores can remain excluded. And looks like this column tower will be flipped next turn. I think gets shelled quite a bit. Does hit the black boat. Tank, infantry, and mech. Remember, capture column tower first? Yes, it does. Takes out that tank there, hits the infantry unit there, takes out the tank there. Hits tank with booster strike, who do now have a block rock now available. More tanks and a mech. Block rock now deployed on the field. Artillery can't shell anything, can still shell the black boat, which will get a fair amount of damage onto it. Triple planes bonus. Does take out the tank there. This one can reach a little bit farther, but for no real efforts at 2 health artillery. It's the mech. Tank, and infantry. Hits the mech, hits the tank, hits the tank. No Trail of Woe. Medium tank, mech. Teched up a little bit there, and thanks to power and superpower, it's able to blitz a little bit better. Try and flip this column tower. Having 2 column towers is very, very important. Especially in the lower fun games, just makes your guys just far more effective. Artillery, infantry, and tank. It's the tank there. It's the tank there. The roads bonus being very useful. Finish a couple units there. Mid-turn Trail of Woe. Medium tank can't range anything. Could shell the black boat. Hits the regular tank there. Does not take out the pipe seam. Tank, and mech. We got a bit of a human mechapede right here. Extra defense being very useful right now for Cole. Infantry, tank, and tank. instant of 90,000 versus 81, so Jake still has a slight advantage. Destroys the pipe seam. Takes out that tank there, thanks to boosted strike. We do have a power available for Jake. Another medium tank, mech and infantry. 12 counterparts remaining. And trying to flip this comm tower instead. But multiple mechs are in range of it though. Tank, and infantry. Hits the infantry unit there. This comm tower, of course, has been flipped back. Got multiple artillery range these inside the range of these mechs. And tanks are forced to attack all these mechs. Does basically pick most of them off. Hits this tank here. Hits some of these tanks as well. Good, none of these tanks are quite wounded, but got, of course, 2 medium tanks in reserve now. Mech sacrifice there. Does get the 4 infantry. Hits the tank there. It hits the tank. Hits the artillery. Takes out the infantry unit there. Hits the artillery. Sacks himself there. Goes for power. Got a force march. Takes out the tank there. Takes out the tank there. Takes out the infantry unit there. Shells the black bow. Takes out the infantry unit there. Tank, mech, and tank. And we do now have another block rock now available. Block rock has been pulled on the field. Though most of our artillery is quite wounded, but still plenty of planes to get firepower bonuses. Actually, the increased range there allowed them to pick off that tank, which is very nice. +1 range being very useful. Picks off a mech. Does take out the tank there. Hits the tank. Takes out the tank. Got 2 full health mechs in range though. Insert for 82,000 versus 86. And since mechs are counter everything but can counter by anything, big problem is the movement speed. This disparity is actually a bit more important since the mechs themselves are going to be fighting. Good hits there. Mech hits the tank on the road. Takes out that tank there. Hits that tank there. Hits that tank there. Tank, and mech. Jake's starting to fall back now. Tank hits infantry. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits artillery. Resupply there. Looks like the black boat gave the infantry a high five. Joins the mechs together. Tank, mech. Tank hits tank. Does take it out with the wounded tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Artillery advance way forward. In a good position to protect everything. Tank hits tank. More artillery. Yeah, but I don't think Cole can advance forward with the medium tanks with these artillery in range. Does hit the tanks, outlying tanks there. Does have a force march. That's a bridge, not a road. Medium tanks just rotate up north. Another medium tank in reserve. Mech and infantry. And Jake does resign there. The Zangrade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Probably have time for one last replay for tonight. Yeah, let's do this one. Jess versus Sammy. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn bottom left side as the Green Earth Jess. We have 13 Anonymity 13. On top right side as Jade Sun Sammy, we got A7. Bingo. Multiple infantry units being deployed in the field. This is a 3-base map, one pair of airports. Both players do serve a comm tower with another pair catchable by either side. Recon by Jess. Sammy has 9,000 monies this turn. Does go for a tank. Another recon by Jess. More infantry, keeping 3,000 in the bank for Sammy. Tank by Jess this turn. Sammy right now has 10,000 funds, so go for another tank this turn. Does strike the poor innocent pipe scene. Does go for another tank. Recon does spot one of the tanks. And remember as well, charging forward to interrupt one of Sammy's captures may not go too well due to the fact that she has plus 50% capture speed. Recon, tank, and infantry. It's the infantry unit up north. Infantry, and tank. Right now, Jess is at 3 tanks, 2 recons. Sammy's at 3 tanks, 1 recon. Does strike the infantry in the center a little bit. Tank, infantry, and recon. Anti-air double infantry. Here's this infantry unit as well. Tank, and infantry. Tank, and infantry. Interrupts the capture down south. Sammy does have 2 condors, so does Jess. Battlecopter, double infantry. Trying to flip this comm tower. Hits the infantry unit there, hits the infantry unit there. It looks like Sammy will be able to capture that comm tower. Only a full health tank is strike, but it simply won't be enough. Hits the recon rather than the tank. Sammy will soon have 3 comm towers versus just the 1 for Jess. This will also make Sammy's vehicles even better than Jess's, who currently have plus 20% firepower. She will of course get also plus 20% firepower, but don't have any other negative aspects. Does take out that tank there. Both players now the power. Let's take out that infantry unit there. Hits that infantry unit. I suppose the infantry units are getting very lethal with 3 comm towers as well. Plus 30, plus 30, so plus 60% firepower. Does lose the coin flip there. Trying to capture the southern comm tower now. This tank can interrupt the capture. She can probably push forward with this tank here, hit the recon, this infantry unit, give him vision to hit that unit there. Spots the tank there, but decides to interrupt the capture. And the 3rd tank hits the tank there. She will maintain control of this comm tower at this current rate. Deletes the cruiser, so no longer cruising around on the HQ. Now it's snoozing at the bottom of the HQ. Does some of these units up there. Her tank up here will be repaired, but it'll be 1 tank versus 2. But right now, Jess does not have any infantry nearby to even capture any of the properties level in the comm tower. 6 capture progress remaining on that unit there. We do have soon to be an overdrive available, and that does interrupt the capture for 1 more turn. Battlecopter hits the tank there. Overdrive's not available, which sometimes is a good idea just to go for powers for Jess. Nothing in range to take on the Battlecopter. Her first anti, or her anti, is on the left side of the map. So Sammy has a very good position there for Battlecopter. It will reign for supreme for a bit of time. Jordan captured there, has 2 capture progress remaining. This could be a turn for Victory March. Oh, infantry units moving around. Double time. I was not expecting that. So we got a double time active, increasing firepower for foot soldiers from 30 to 50 and +1 movement range. I guess she really wants to make sure that Contar is captured. It's not interrupted. It is now fully stopped. It also does give a +10% defense for next turn, which may be important. I think as well she does almost have enough power charge for another double time. And we got a full overdrive now deployed on the field. Battlecopter's out of range. We do have Neo Tank by Sammy. She currently has 20,000 income versus 18. Does take out that 1 health unit. Sammy still has a good core tanks here to interrupt the the anti-airs. Recon spots the anti-air, tank hits anti-air, tank hits anti-air, knocking it out. Of course, the other anti-airs are now in range of the battlecopter. To be fair, that battlecopter got a lot of work done, so losing is not a huge issue. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and infantry. There goes the battlecopter. Takes out a regular tank there. Could see another capture here. Not interrupted, fully stopped. Shells the pipe scene. Tank, infantry, and tank. Battlecopter hits tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits recon. Tank hits recon. Neo Tank persuade forward, which I don't believe it's currently spotted by anything. Tank, infantry, and T-copter. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Tank hits tank. Double time or victory march is almost available. Does spot the Neo Tank now. Double time's available. Does take the battlecopter. Sammy just needs 6 properties in order to get a capture victory. Destroying the cruiser is unlikely. Victory March has now been deployed. Gotta clear out some of these properties. Oh, Parks and Neo Tank atop the city there. Looks like the Victory March is probably be used for combat. A lot of the one-shots some infantry units, that's for sure. Maybe not. This property will not be captured. She captured 0 properties that turn with a Victory March. That was purely meant for combat. Like, not even this property. I thought this property, and I thought there was going to be a trap there. I thought this property would at least be flipped, but no. We do have now turbocharge now uploaded in field. Right now, Summit does have 95,000 versus 95,000, so they're pretty even at the moment. Nothing to stop Summy's Neo Tank. That power was also not super spectacular either. Neo Tank takes out a regular tank there. Battlecopter could strike the other battlecopter. Oh, does get trapped there. Infantry, and Neo Tank. Spots infantry unit up north, trying to flip the capture. Can be interrupted by this infantry unit there. Another turbocharge available. Tank, and infantry. Captures a property there. Hits the tank. Does not take out the tank there. Hits that unit there. Tank hits artillery. Takes out the battlecopter. Hits the anti-air. Tank, recon, and infantry. Does interrupt the capture. We've got a number of infantry nearby. Hits that infantry in there, so the comm tower will likely not be captured this turn, or next turn. Now I've got an overdrive available. stops on capture. Artillery, and tank. Keep some of these units in reserve. Neo tank somewhat close by, but not revealed. Ready to engage this tank. Hits the regular tank there, hits the artillery. Try and flip that city. Tank hits tank. Do not have a bomber by Sammy. Got a full superpower overdrive now deployed in the field. No, not making any attempts on that column tower. Tank hits tank, tank hits tank, tank hits tank. Battlecopter recon double infantry. Sami could pull out a victory march this turn, but looks like not. ATR tank infantry insert 112 versus 102. 23 units versus 21 units. Does have 22,000 income versus 16, so 4 properties needs to be captured, and then she wins. Or 1 HQ. Interior tank and infantry. Infantry, neo tank, and recon. Also make sure the bomber doesn't park it next to the cruiser, because the cruiser can shoot adjacent units. Victory march not available. Trying to flip this comm tower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not in range of the HQ. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this mech could capture the HQ if the cruiser gets sunk to the bottom of the HQ. May see a victory march. Remember as well, 4 properties is relatively easy, but see 1 here. This might be the turn where she captures the HQ. This infantry there. Man's one-shot it. Out of curiosity, how much damage is that right now doing? Easy one-shot. Bomber strikes the cruiser. Neo tank strikes the cruiser. And now the HQ is open, and the mech has the HQ capture. So, bit of a victory, and there's the victory via HQ capture. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And as I mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight.